today's episode is brought to you by Greg and the legacy that he will leave behind at the Natural Habitat Podcast. His last name, we never said it. It was Kaczynska-Dinsky. And you're going to... No, now's not a time for laughter. Okay, Joey? I know that we laughed at his name before, but he's passed now. So, Greg Kaczynska-Dinsky, we love you, buddy. And we'll see you on the other side of the universe, my friend.
R.I.P. The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast. The Natural Habitat Podcast.
Gotta get the gas out before we start.
Cash out.
You got any gas that needs to be released before we start this podcast? No?
Gas free. Yeah.
Gas free. All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the Natural Habitat Podcast, and my name is Mikey Booyah.
My name is Evil Unknown.
Evil Unknown is my co-host, and we are here to talk to you about a very Halloween-y themed. I guess it's not really Halloween-y themed. Halloween isn't really talked about. Weenie. Halloween isn't really discussed at all in the movie, but a classic horror movie, which is The Evil Dead by the one and only Sam Raimi. So, Evil Dead, for anybody who hasn't seen it, go watch it now. We'll wait.
Yeah.
All right. Did you enjoy it? I'm glad. Evil Dead was starring the main character, Bruce Campbell, is one of my favorite comedic / serious. It's like he's serious, but he's comedic unintentionally actor of all time.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell's
He's
the
awesome.
shit. Have you ever seen the movie My Name is Bruce?
No.
That is another classic where he has to fight some sort of Asian monster, but we'll get into that next time.
Yeah. He's like a mythical creature. You know what I'm saying? He's not like a normal actor. Like, he's really got something different. He's just like a bigger than life character himself, you know? So he like that portrays through his work a lot. That's why he gets these roles.
Yep, I agree. Bruce Campbell's the shit. And Evil Dead, I remember watching this when I was a kid all the time. I had the VHS, and it's a classic. It's the first time I ever heard of the Necronomicon, which is the Book of the Dead, which is talked about here and there all the time. But this was the first time it was ever brought up, and it's these 5 college kids go to a cabin out in the woods, find the Necronomicon, accidentally play this tape that has a recording of the professor who initially found the Necronomicon and translated it, and it awakens these demons that start possessing everyone. So it's a real easy movie to follow. You could watch it way high and drunk and understand what's happening. It's a lot of screaming, a lot of gore. They actually used cream corn for all the goop. It was green cream corn and milk. They would spew out all this white stuff, and it was just milk, 2% milk.
Yeah, it's so funny.
You could tell when you were watching it.
It's so great to see like stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like how it really was low budget, and they had to just come off the fly with shit and just do shit on their own and create. You know, and I feel like that's kind of like what we do, and it makes it such more of like a commendable process. It feels so much more organic. You know what I mean? It feels like all that shit. You never took the time to dissect that and look at it really when it was happening. You know what I mean? Just watching a film, you know, if you're just a film head and you're just like, you know, you see that shit, you realize what you see, but then it's on to the next thing or whatever already. Yeah. So you don't really have the time to take to like, you know, tear it apart. And for them to have like had to think about all these little innate different things and like have to fucking put them all together to make something semi-believable out of really nothing. Like their scenarios and situations that they were in for this movie were fucking great obstacles to overcome, you know? Like it took like 4 years for the film to finish, and like they had all these other obligations and things going on, and they had to like recreate these scenes from shitty fucking environments where they were building the sets and whatever else, and you know what I mean, like they had to overcome a lot of shit, and in the process they use all like a lot of real ingenious like creative shit and come up with cool little things and use whatever's around them and really just make it work, like force it to work, you know what I mean, and you can't. Once you do something like that, you can't like recreate it later. You know what I mean? Like you could try, but it just doesn't fucking work out.
And it's cool because they actually saved a lot of money. The filming of this video reminds me of that Little Dicky video, Save That Money, because they're using like milk to spit shit up. They filmed it in some abandoned cabin that the director owned, or someone that he knew owned it, and the cabin's still there in Tennessee. So if you live in Tennessee or if you're passing through Morristown, go and find the cabin. You could look it up and find the coordinates and directions on Google somewhere. And that's some place that I want to visit sometime in my life. That'd be dope. But you know, they didn't have to build this like, you know, set and cabin and everything. They just used this existing cabin. And another thing is that, you know, for it being such an independent movie, these actors were nobodies. They were horrible actors, and, you know, Bruce Campbell kind of grew on the fact that he's a bad actor. He's an over actor, and it's comical, so people expect that from him, and he's fine now. And when they first initially made it, they had really good shots. I noticed within the first 5 minutes of the movie, there was a shot where the camera was following the car down the road, and it looked super creepy. And then when the guy opens the door, the camera's up in the corner and there's a bunch of smoke in the room and you could see the light coming in from the open door. And it was just a really good shot. They knew what they were doing. They really captured, you know, all the moments well with minimal money. And it really paid off. And I think it's that grittiness that you can't recreate if you wanted to, because they made the original movie and it wasn't supposed to be funny, but it was unintentionally hilarious. And there was a lot of eye gouging and really cheesy stuff.
Yeah, and that just comes along with part of like that. Back in the day when people were like in these low budget scenarios and everything, and had to fucking do it all with limited resources, they would always film in one location, you know, instead of have it be random places and have to pick up and move and like don't, you know what I'm saying? Like it costs money to do all those things, you know? So to just film it all in one location, you really only had so much you could do, and you had to be extra creative to like think of the process of like, you know, what they were going to do, like all these scenes you're talking about, you know what I mean? It's like, and they really pull it off with not much.
Yep. And you know, the first movie, the genre that it was placed in, the subgenre was low budget, non-humorous, B-grade gore fest horror film. And they were trying to be serious, gory, and hard to say. And then their production budget was $375,000 for the first movie, and they made it, tried to be serious, everybody laughed at it, and then it got cult status after a while. People started going back and watching it high. And then they made the second one and the third one, Army of Darkness, very comical, over the top, lots of punny lines from Ash, the main character. Only main character, the antagonist or protagonist. Which one's the good one? Protagonist?
Yeah, I think so.
The only male protagonist in a horror movie with a female's name that just kicks ass. Ash was dope. He was a fresh character. He handled shit. He cut off his own hand at one point. He would fuck up demons, and with the name Ashley. So props for that, man. Not a lot of people could do that.
Right. So yeah, I gotta. Usually, you know, we get into this and we start doing our facts and everything, and then sometimes there's a spoiler alert because we fucking repeat a fact or whatever in a video we play later. So in order to avoid that this time, I want to play this fact video I got.
All right, and then we'll discuss them after.
Yeah.
I got you.
That way we don't have to double up, you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Lay it on me. And don't mind me, but I'm going to smoke during a little early.
Do it. All right. And then we'll get into a smoke session soon, too.
Cool. So everybody get ready for that.
Here we go.
The Evil Dead uses a classic strategy of low-budget movies, which is sticking to one location for practically the whole film. In this case, it was a cabin in Tennessee. But one major problem was that the cabin they used didn't have a cellar. They faked one by digging a 4-foot deep hole in the ground inside of the cabin. All the scenes that actually take place in the basement were shot months later in Marshall, Michigan. So, right here, Ash is in a real cellar in Michigan looking back up into a cabin that's in Tennessee. And this cellar scene was shot in a third location, Sam Raimi's garage in Franklin, Michigan. It just goes to show you what kind of tricks filmmakers have to use to make things work, which sets me up perfectly for our next thing.
You bastards! Why are you torturing me like this? Why?
It took a couple of years before The Evil Dead could be completed. They'd run out of money, have to put things on hold, and then actors would leave to work on other projects. You know, mo demons, mo problems. So that led to a lot of crew members doubling for actors who had left the production. And director Sam Raimi did a lot of the heavy lifting himself. For example, that's him in the front seat of the car, pretending to be Shelley. And there's his hand doubling for Scott's in this shot. Here's producer Robert Tappert doubling for a demon in this shot from behind. Then this is actually Tappert's sister on the floor. Got a crew guy filling in here since that actress was long gone, and this is actually a local Tennessee actress they found subbing for Betsy Baker. I guess you can never underestimate the power of a bad wig and a strategic camera angle. Meanwhile, Sam's brother Ted Raimi also got in on the action. Those are Ted's feet doubling for Scott's, and here are Ted's hands strangling Ash from the basement, the fake basement, that is. But while the basement was fake, the scratches on Bruce Campbell's face right here are real. Jeez, Ted. Trim your nails. The list of fake shimps in the credits was Sam Raimi's way of acknowledging everyone who loaned their bodies and limbs to get the shots they needed, while also acknowledging his love of the Three Stooges, which makes for another fantastic segue.
What do you know about plumbing? That's fine. Give me a hand.
The fake shimps are the only way that Sam Raimi paid tribute to the Three Stooges in The Evil Dead. This scene in the basement is a way of referencing the Three Stooges' A Plumbing We Will Go from 1940. Instead of leaking pipes and light bulbs filling with water like the Three Stooges, we get a basement blood storm. Both are definitely plumbing disasters, but if I had to pick one, I'd go with neither. This necklace that Ash gives to Linda was originally going to be a more critical element in the movie. Toward the end, it would refract light onto the Book of the Dead, which would help Ash realize that burning the book was the key, yada yada yada. Well, even though they cut that bit out, the magnifying glass necklace is still pretty prominent throughout the film. Most people don't know that this close-up of the necklace was shot months after the rest of the scene, and in the interim, they lost the original necklace. The closest thing they could find was a gold magnifying glass necklace, which they spray-painted silver so it would match. And you can actually see the paint coming off on Betsy Baker's fingers. Don't worry, though, I don't think silver spray paint is toxic. I've huffed tons of it, and my brain still goes good. One of the best things about The Evil Dead, and really any horror movie from that era, is the use of practical special effects. But The Evil Dead was particularly hardcore on set. I mean, seriously, they did some things that were actually super dangerous and reckless. For example, this shot was achieved by rigging 2x4s into a T-shape, attaching the camera, and then running at the windows so that the 2x4s would break the window before the camera got there. Yeah, to get the shot where the window breaks, they just broke a real window with real glass. And in this scene, that's a real gun that they really fired with real bullets at a real person. Okay, maybe that last part isn't true. They just shot a dummy, but still, they were firing live ammo on a movie set. So I guess if we've learned one thing today about making horror movie cult classics, it's that safety is very overrated.
Dope.
At the very beginning of the movie, the kids pass these two guys on the road on their way to the cabin. Well, these two guys are none other than Sam Raimi and Robert Tappert. I know, these guys are all over this movie. Later, when they're listening to the recording that they find in the cabin, we hear this line. It turns out the gibberish that you just heard translates to Sam and Rob are the hitchhikers on the road. Which doesn't sound very scary, honestly. Moving on. Let's wrap up with a thing about the Force, which is what the filmmakers named the evil POV shots that we see throughout the film. The sound that accompanies the shot is what really sells it. and adds that creep factor.
Titties.
But you probably don't know what they use to get that sound. The force is a combination of wind, a low drone sound effect, and Sam Raimi's voice. They got the wind from an Orson Welles movie called The Third Man, as well as an ambient track that Raimi recorded at the house they were staying in during filming. It wasn't far from the cabin, and he recorded about 10 minutes worth of it, but the recording has become so iconic that other horror movies have actually used Raimi's scary wind too. Finally, Raimi recorded himself making various sounds for whenever the force would move from one spot to another, like this. They then processed the voice to make it sound more spooky and not just like a goofy guy making weird whoa noises into a microphone, which, by the way, don't knock it till you try it. Pretty much made a career out of it. Well, that's it for today, and
Yeah, that sounds fun. That's dope, man. That's dope how they made the sound, because that really was like I was talking about the crazy shots that they did. They had really good shots in the film, and that was one of them, how the camera would just be moving so quick through the forest, making that creepy-ass noise. And also, I'd like to bring up a part that that is really looked down upon by a lot of people, and it's one of my favorite parts. And I'm glad that they brought it back in the remake of Evil Dead that just recently came out in 2013, I think. But Sam Raimi even said that he wished he would have taken the scene out, was the tree rape scene, where the girl's running through the forest, she gets held up by all the trees, and one of them rapes her. And for a second, it kind of seems like she's digging it. It might just be me, but she does like a moaning thing that you wouldn't do a moaning thing if you were getting raped, especially by a tree. I'm pretty sure girls.
I don't know. Have you been raped?
No, but I've raped lots of girls, and they just scream. They just scream and they scream and they cry. So there's no moaning involved.
Well,
did I get too real?
There might be. You never know.
You never know. I guess she was just that kind of girl.
Maybe it's a rapey moan.
She was just a hippie, and she really loved trees. So you know.
Maybe.
But
maybe she was trying to get to the root of the problem.
Oh, I see what you're doing here. You're getting real punny in light of Evil Dead. I like it.
Nice.
So I also found out that this film was banned in several European countries. And that in the UK, it was subject to obscenity trials and censorship cuts, particularly the rape scene, the tree rape scene. A lot of people didn't like it, like I said, but I stand behind it, and I'm glad that they did it in the new one, because did you see the new Evil Dead?
Nope.
In the tree rape scene, it's like a giant long branch that's slithering around like a snake, and that shit goes all the way up inside of her. Like, it doesn't just penetrate her, it goes up in there. And then disappears, and now she's possessed by this demon, and it was the fucking craziest thing ever. Super nuts.
Nice.
So that was that really adds to the shock value of the movie. You know what I mean? What else did that guy say? I always get high during, and then I can only absorb one fact.
How they had to dig a basement?
Yeah, that's crazy. So they actually shot at a bunch of different.
It was only like a 4-foot little hole that they dug themselves, and.
They actually shot at different locations instead of just the one place.
Well, no. They said that they did most of the filming on the one location, and then the rest was like while they were editing and
at
shit,
a real basement in Michigan. And then in his garage.
So, yeah, it was like they did all the filming they could at the first location, and then pretty much called it good. And they're like, anything else, we'll just fucking add right here on the spot afterwards on the fly, you know? It's like, and fuck. I mean, you don't really notice that because you're just caught up in the story and like what's happening, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and when it's a quick shot of someone's hands or someone's feet running, you don't know that they're not running through that forest.
You don't really think twice about it because these stories were actually captivating, and I swear it's because of the special effects. I think that that's the only reason why all these cheesy-ass movies that we love so much have that effect on us, is because of the real special effects. It's because it has something we can reach out and touch, you know? It's really there.
Yeah.
And,
you see the face, and he puts his thumb into her eye, and all this goop starts coming out, and it's actually real. instead of
It
just some
makes
computer
all the
shit.
difference.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's just fucking. I don't know. It's a cool time that we're living in now, to where we're getting a chance to like blend it with the CGI, and make it something that, I mean, something that it's never had the potential to be before. You know what I mean? Like now we can take everything a bit further and make it a bit more like realistic in ways that are so fakey with the fucking prosthetics and shit, and realistic and more like tangible science ways by fucking the way that they like CGI shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you have to have that special blend. You know what I mean? Like it's really that fucking the mixture that makes it what it's gonna be, and that's why I'm like so anticipating the Star Wars. I'm like fuck, man, I hope they really get it right. This is the chance to prove how it can be done.
Yeah, I don't understand how CGI is still so expensive. Like CGI is expensive as fuck to get that shit done.
It's because
they could charge whatever they want.
The technology is advancing, so it's like becoming more and more realistic on a minuscule scene. You know what I mean? The pixels are getting smaller, so the things that they can do and make changes and everything get smaller, so it has a better look overall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like the smaller the detail, the better the fucking detail. You know what I'm saying? Like the smaller you can make adjustments and changes, the better it'll look overall. Just like the megapixels, how there's more pixels make a better picture. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, but it's like
so the technology is changing, but they're using algorithms and science to fucking make the shit that they're doing. So like they gotta fucking make a new one for your movie or whatever.
But you figure that you figure that whenever they work on something new, that they have kind of a base algorithm, a base program that they'll start with, and then just change a few things to set it to you.
Yeah.
It can't be worth that much money because Sam Raimi made Spider-Man, all the Spider-Man films, and for Spider-Man 3, he had a $350 million budget for the movie, which is fucking insane, and guaranteed $300 million of that went to CGI for Spider-Man fucking zooming around the city on his web. And it's like, why do you got to pay so much for that shit? I think that they're tricking everybody, the CGI people. They've got the wool over our eyes, and all they're doing is clicking away on computers. And it's like, that's expensive, but it's not millions of dollars expensive.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not trying to put down you CGI guys out there.
I'm not. I just don't really understand it like you. You know what I mean? Like I don't think either one of us really understands like what it is fully that goes into it, and that's where we're probably missing the monetization of it.
They need to make a documentary, a good documentary about doing CGI, and like it'll be about a movie that we all saw, like fucking that stupid Avatar movie. So, this is a good fact to segue into our smoke sesh. I found out that in the scene where the characters are first listening to the tape, when they first find the tape and start playing it, and it's the old man doing all these incantations, they were supposed to be smoking a joint and passing it around while they were listening to it in the script. So they tried it, and they had to cut and reshoot at a later date because everybody was way too high and had quote unquote uncontrollable behavior. So
you should have filmed it.
Everybody was jumping around. It's pretty much like our show. It's what our show is. Only we didn't cut it out and then do it again later. We just put out the first uncontrollable behavior part. They should have kept it.
Happens daily.
How bad could it have been? You know what I mean?
Could have been funny as shit.
They probably just forgot they were acting and just were fucking sitting around.
It would have been a comedy.
They were calling each other by their real names and fucking talking about all kinds of shit.
It's Ashley, bro.
Come on, man. Bruce. We're rolling. Sam Raimi's all high, just not even paying attention.
My name's Ramsamy.
All right, well, let's get into the smoke sesh. I have the end title music for the movie, and it's really shocking because at the end of the movie, everybody dies. It's all super brutal. And then, like, he runs outside. the camera shot of the quick camera and the spooky wind and noise comes at him through the door. He turns around, he screams, and it fucking hits him right in the face, implying that he got, attacked and killed by the demon at the end of the movie. And then it cuts to the ending credits, and it's the oldest, most 20s, like, old-timey music ever. It reminds me of that game BioShock.
Yeah, that shit is dope as fuck.
That game's hella fucking fresh. And
yeah.
And it was just a strange choice of music, because you're sitting there like, oh my god, everybody died, and you're just in awe, and then all of a sudden you're just dancing around your living room, waving your pointer fingers around. So we're gonna do that right now. Everybody, I hope you have your bowls ready and your stuff lit and your index fingers pointing and shaking. So let's do this. I think you'll understand. You'll understand what I mean in just a second. Da, 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 ba, da, ba, da. The shit's getting creepy. And that's the way the news goes.
YouTube.
Man, what a weird choice of music. I love it.
I know, yeah. It's a good smoke session, though. I'm high.
Yeah, as am I. You got dabs over there, though. I'm dabless.
Yeah.
I got no dabs.
Son.
But, I'm gonna be coming to town in about 8 days. So save some of those dabs.
Yeah. I know. We're gonna dab it up, and we're gonna go to do some fucking stoner car show.
Yeah, if anybody wants to come and kick it with us and, hang out with Mikey Booyah and Unknown, I mean, I know we're not that fresh, but we have weed and Joey has shatter. So if you want to kick it, we are going to be at the Adult Swim Drive-In in Pasadena, California on October 28th. So come out, see us, visit us, join us,
be wearing masks.
smoke with us. Yeah, good luck finding us. We're going to be wearing masks. Yeah. I have tattoos on my fingers, so try and find someone that has that, and then say, hi, I listen to your show all the time, let's smoke some weed. And if he decides to smoke with you, it's probably me.
If we look in the other direction and pretend not to know you, it's because we think you're a cop.
And also, if you've been meaning to donate from our donate episode and on our donate link that we have at naturalhabitat.podomatic.com, and if you've just been meaning to do it and didn't do it, you can just hand us money in real life at the Adult Swim Drive-In. So
yeah,
you come to that, totally. You give us $100, give us $200, and we'll be friends. You pay for our friendship. That's fucked up. Totes. But that's how it goes. That's the way the news goes. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So we'll see you there.
Well, I got a fucking, I got some cool stuff. I got a clip.
Oh, you got a clip or two?
Yeah.
Well, what's this clip?
I got
Set
two.
It up. Set up
one,
a clip.
Evil Torments Ash, and another one, Cheryl is Possessed.
Oh. All right, give us Cheryl is Possessed. Show us these old school demons that we get in classic horror movies.
All right, cool.
7. What suit? Diamonds. No, wait. Hearts.
Oh my God, 7 of hearts, you're right.
Hey, Ash, I guessed the card right.
Yeah, truly amazing.
I don't know, but I think it's really some sort of extra sense or something.
Said every guy ever.
Okay, try this.
Okay, it's a 7.
I don't believe it.
Of spades. Queen of spades. 4 of hearts. 8 of spades. 2 of spades. Jack of diamonds. Jack of clubs.
Why have you disturbed our sleep? Awakened us from our ancient slumber. You will die! Like the others before you. One by one we will take you.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I found out that that every single cast member of the movie was injured in some way during the filming of this movie, and
Fuck, I bet.
especially Betsy Baker, that girl that was in that scene. She had all of her eyelashes ripped out when they removed the plaster mold for the latex mask. Ripped out all of her eyelashes. Gonzo. She looks like Marilyn Manson now. And there was also not her, but the other girl, Ash's girlfriend. I believe she was played by Teresa Tilly. I might be wrong, but when she gets possessed at the end of the movie, she has these like milk white eyes, and
Yeah.
they didn't have colored crazy extreme contact lenses in 1981. So these lenses that they were using were made out of metal, and they were putting them in their eyes.
What?
Swear to God. And they say it in the commentary version of Evil Dead. Bruce Campbell tells this story that the fucking
Hell no.
yeah, the contact lenses were made out of metal, and that she could only wear them for like 10 minutes. They could only shoot for 10-minute stretches, and then she would have to take them out and then like put some shit in her eyes because it would irritate the shit out of them, and it fucked up her eyes like crazy. Look, I'm gonna Google it right now.
Yeah, I would not have done that.
Right?
Fuck no.
I don't know. It's just trying to. It's hard for me to talk and Google things like this because.
All right, well, I got something while you're doing that.
Okay, yeah. Lay that other clip on us, and I'm gonna find out the deal on these.
Well,
contacts.
no, I'm not. I got a cool fact.
Oh, yeah?
Even if it wasn't haunted, the cabin was plenty horrifying. Cows had roamed free inside it and left a layer of manure that was 4 to 6 inches thick.
Damn.
There was no plumbing and no heat. The filmmakers had to clean it out and knock down some walls and build some additions to transform the shack into a suitable film set. So all the times they're laying on the floor and like all that shit, it was full cow shit before that.
Nice. Probably smelled great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this this info on these contact lenses. So, play the clip of what was it? The other one you had, Ash. Evil fucks with Ash.
Ash. Yeah.
Evil fucks with Ash.
Ashley, help me. Let me out of here. Ashley? Ash, help me. Let me out of here. I'm all right now. I'm all right now, Ashley. I'm all right. Unlock this chain and let me out.
Sure.
Cow shit, cow shit, cow shit. He's laying down on the floor. Fake blood on his hands and everything. Back when denim shirts were cool.
I'm all right now, Ashley. Come on back to chain, let me out. I'm all right now. It's your sister, shit. You bastards! Why are you torturing me like this? Why? Shut up!
Oh, here she is with the metal eyes.
We're gonna get you, not another peep. Time to go to sleep.
Oh.
Ugh. So
Nice.
I couldn't find anything on it, but I guarantee it's on there. If you watch Evil Dead with the commentary on with Bruce Campbell, he will talk about it and tell the story. So it's probably the only time it was told.
Nice.
So I found out that I said that earlier in the episode that the original cabin was still standing in Tennessee, but I was wrong about that. The cabin actually burned to the ground, and Remy initially said that it was struck by lightning, and later he claimed that he burned it down himself. But the crew buried a time capsule at the site, and apparently fans have come and picked the site clean of all the bricks from the fireplace, but no one has unearthed the time capsule. So apparently there's still a time capsule there, and we're going to go find it. And we're going to put a flash drive with a bunch of podcasts in the time capsule, with this one in particular.
Then they're going to say, sorry for your luck, we got here first. And they'll just have a long recording of a bunch of different laughs.
Yeah. I wonder what's in there in that time capsule, you know what I mean? It's like the crew made it, so it's probably some cool ass shit from the movie.
Yeah, or not. Or just some junk that, like, the clothes that they wore in the film, or like...
Well, imagine how much that would be worth if you had Ash's shirt that he wore in Evil Dead. You know what I mean? You'd probably sell that shit for a cool $10,000 to some horror buff.
Maybe.
I know that I'd probably pay $100 for it. So that's $100 that we can make, not from me, but there's got to be someone else that'll pay $100.
Maybe.
So that's at least $100 that we can make just for taking a road trip to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I do have an announcement for the listeners out there that I just remembered. We are going to be coming up in July of 2016. We are going to be in San Bernardino, California at the Chalice Festival. It's the longest running cannabis cup in America, and they have all these giant booths and shit. And we're going to be there at a booth for 805 Extracts, which is a local oil place around here. And we're going to be doing some live podcasts from the booth at the festival, interviewing some people that are there. And you guys can come and hang out and see us and come by the booth and get some free dabs. So look forward to that. Yeah. That was we're just setting it up right now. So bada boom, there it is. Set it in your calendars. July at the Chalice Festival. I just wanted to get that out there because I just remembered.
Nice.
It's going to be dope, man. It's going to be fun. We're going to take a bunch of dabs. We're going to meet that guy, the fucking YouTube guy that we stole his damn fucking catchphrase from. He makes his... There's some guy, I forget his name, but he makes his videos dabbing. I might have talked about him and given him credit for it. But he's the one that says, "What's up, YouTube?" And
we'll have a YouTube off.
Yeah, we'll have a YouTube off and see who could say YouTube longer. "What's up, YouTube?" And then I'm gonna say, "This is my co-host Joey, and he's very unprofessional. And he eats while he's recording a podcast."
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Only because it's Halloween time do you get away with it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm eating my Halloween candy right now.
That's all that is. What are you eating?
Sour gummy bears and shit.
Sour gummy bears?
Yeah.
That's like a whole nother level of stoner candy.
It's like some little evil zombies.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Little zombie bears?
Yep.
Whatever. What do you think? What do you think would be the most offensive Halloween costume possible this year, besides Caitlyn Jenner or Cecil the Lion?
Oh no. Oh no.
Anything?
Fucking Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
I was watching. I was watching Anthony Jeselnik's new stand-up that he's doing. They just released it on Netflix.
He's pretty funny.
Yeah, and I watched it. I really suggest everyone go out and check it out. It's on Netflix for free, and it's very offensive. Every single joke is about some sort of child getting decapitated or a puppy dying and all this horrible stuff. And then he was like, every year there's the joke police out there, and there's always something that you're not allowed to joke about, and it always changes. And then when they move on to the next thing, they don't care about the last thing, but there's always one thing that you can't joke about. And he was like, what is it right now? Excuse me, I burped. I thought I got all the gas out at the beginning, but I didn't. He was like, what is it right now that you can't joke about? And he goes, it's transgender people. You're not allowed to joke about transgenders. Like the whole Caitlyn Jenner thing, and not allowed to do it, even though South Park's schooling it. And
Yeah.
and then he went on to tell his joke was, you're not even allowed to say chicks with dicks anymore. You have to say guys that talk way too much. So it was good. He got away with saying chicks with dicks, which you're not allowed to say that anymore, even though I just said it twice. Not allowed to do that. It's very offensive.
Yeah.
So I think that I think something along those lines would be the best way to go.
Yeah, something like that.
Or you could do the classic, wrap yourself in like cotton. You get like that fake like cotton layout snow shit. Wrap yourself in it. Have a rope hanging out from behind your shirt, and then you like just cover yourself in fake blood, and then you walk around as a used tampon, and you drop ground meat,
Nice.
ground beef on the ground behind you. You carry around a little Ziploc bag, and I'm sure that would offend somebody.
You can dress up as Hillary Clinton's emails. That's pretty offensive.
Yeah. Yep, you could do that. I also saw this couple that was going as one girl was like, she was like a schoolgirl, and then the dude was dressed up as the mascot for that team that like raped the cheerleader or whatever. Remember how the mascot like raped some girl and he didn't take his head off? He kept his head on. That's a pretty good costume.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess.
I know that when we go to the Adult Swim Drive-In, we're going to be hanging out with Rick and Morty, because that's what Ty and Annalise are going to be, and they're going to be there with us.
Oh yeah.
Awesome Ty in the house,
Awesome Ty.
dressed as
The
Rick.
mayor.
The mayor.
It's Big Awesome Ty, the mayor.
Big Awesome
You
Ty.
gotta say it.
Shout out to Ty.
You gotta say it right.
So
Shout motherfucking out.
So you can come and see the mayor too.
Yeah. He'll be signing mayoral autographs and kissing babies and shaking hands and doing all that gangster ass mayor shit
Kissing hands and shaking babies.
or something.
So yeah, fucking Evil Dead is a shit. I think that everybody should go and watch it today. It's Halloween time. It's a classic horror movie. It's funny. If you want it more on the funny side, then you could just watch Evil Dead 2, because Evil Dead 2 is an exact remake of Evil Dead 1, only with all different actors, except Bruce is there still. So
Nice.
it's a weird thing. He's like 15 years older than original. He's a full-grown man instead of a high school student now. And it's a lot funnier and a lot of one-liners and shit. But the first one stands on its own, so I feel like everybody should go check it out. Also, I just found out that the second film dropped in 1987. So that was really only 6 years later. How did he age so much in 6 years? Poor guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe he got possessed for real from this house. You said that that the house may not be haunted, but it was still spooky. but that means that it may also be haunted, right?
Yeah.
They didn't say it wasn't.
Totes my goats.
Totes my goats, the recycling deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was funny.
That's awesome. I love them. We support Totes my goats here.
Yep.
So
so go watch Evil Dead. Go watch some other scary movies.
Get your recycling done.
Yeah. Listen to a podcast because that's the best thing to do.
Yep. Be the best you that you could be, and be nice to somebody. Be mean to 5 people. For every 5 people you're a dick to, be nice to 1.
Yeah.
That's all we ask.
Smoke more joints.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yep.
All that good shit.
And also, don't forget to, if it's yellow, keep it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. Because we're in a drought, all right? Even if you don't live in California, save some water for us, because we're running out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
Peace,
you were out? You're already doing it?
Yeah.
I got one more. You're gone.
I'm out.
Joey's gone.
Signing up.
One more. Make sure that your mouse sensitivity is set at a comfortable level so your mouse isn't jumping all over the place on your computer. All right, peace.
The Natural Habitat Podcast.